Sun Wukong vs Prometheus is officially over. The second fight in Ragnarok, the apocalypse of the gods, has ended, and it was absolutely wild. Some people hate it, others love it. Today I'll be going over everything you need to know. So very surprisingly, the winner of this fight was the one and only Prometheus. Is what I'll be saying. In a different universe, as many of us expected, Wukong was indeed the winner, slaying Prometheus with that attack we saw in the most recent chapter. Remember when he used 15% of his power, landing his staff on Prometheus, sending him to this realm where he got beat up by various Buddhas? That was the attack that had resulted in his defeat. We saw his divine weapon seemingly get destroyed, and we get it confirmed and literally shown in the most recent chapter that bro could not continue fighting after receiving 15% of Wukong's power. This panel is the official confirmation that the second fight is over, but if you look closely, it seemingly claims that this fight lasted 20 minutes and 25 seconds. I don't know what the author is smoking at this point. The entire clash was pretty much two exchanges, Prometheus landing some attacks on Wukong and then the Monkey King one-shotting the Greek god. Perhaps this chapter and all the yapping we get from both of them was like 19 minutes or something like that, but regardless, let's go over everything else we got. We see this dude again who appeared in chapter 1 as one of the future fighters and described as a supreme god as well, yapping about some wild stuff with his two personalities or two heads. Don't know exactly what's going on with that, but bro is being a monster like he's being portrayed as every single time. When it comes to the next round, we're actually getting Indra fighting next, the third fight in the Apocalypse of the Gods, and the only fighter we already have some insight about prior to the reveal of this manga, of course in Shiva's flashback, and he is fighting this god, the Flame Phoenix I guess, who's had some moments here and there, but nothing really giving any insight on his power or that he's insanely overpowered in any way. Can't say I'm that excited for this match, but I'll save my breakdown on that for a future video. We get some more reveals about Sun Wukong's journey to the west, or the lore about Wukong in the Record of Ragnarok world. Seeing the monkey boy in his younger years alongside his boys fighting crazy creatures like this, very similar to what we saw when Wukong attacked Prometheus and sent him to his realm. We know the monkey boy's power comes from pretty much all of his past battles combined into one. So during this time where he was struggling, as we see here, he gained all of that power, and then now when he unleashed 15% of it, that was more than enough to completely kill Prometheus. But with that said as well, it's also possible that the power wielded by Prometheus could have actually resulted in him receiving even more damage, even more pain. But Wukong being a one-man army is highlighted once again. We got the, I guess, blade depiction, some have said. One of the gods also fighting in the tournament, yapping about Wukong, likely more glaze as expected. Then we see Prometheus, who, as we know, after receiving that attack had his divine weapon completely shatter. We have Zeus yapping a little bit about what just happened, likely more glaze about Wukong. We already got a lot of it as I've broken down in previous videos. The Monkey King is without a doubt one of the strongest characters we've ever seen, and this was highlighted to the utmost extreme with him one-shotting his opponent. I've seen some people claim, particularly when I was streaming a few hours ago, that they're kinda annoyed by two fights being low diffs. All things considered, I wouldn't say the first fight, Cuchulainn vs Ra, was a low diff, considering the injuries sustained by the Irish boy and how he was beat up for the majority of that fight and just happened to win via a one-shot move. This one on the other hand was very different. We had Prometheus land a few attacks that yes did some damage to Wukong, but more so got him excited and willing to lock in. what actually resulted in him using 15% of his power, but that, as we saw, was too much for the likes of Prometheus. Therefore, I don't really mind this outcome, and if it happens a few more times, considering we have a lot more fights to get through, particularly if one of these gods is meant to be fighting in the main series somehow, some way, based on what was revealed to us in chapter 1 of the side manga. But there's still various questions about all that, considering Zeus wasn't on the roster revealed and he likely just takes that spot regardless. But coming back to this fight itself, something to emphasize is the state of Prometheus. Bro is absolutely destroyed in every way possible. We even have Hercules stunned and pretty much enraged by what just happened. Someone who is likely very similar to Prometheus based on what we know so far. Two gods pretty much on humanity's side, caring for humanity. But as I've expressed in some other videos, I don't really like Hercules that much, so seeing him pissed off and enraged after his buddy was destroyed is pretty goated. And we do get more insight about Prometheus in this chapter, his relationship with the likes of Zeus, Hermes, Ares, how he was different to them, of course, receiving these books, helping humanity since the very start, how compared to some of the other outer gods, he isn't really evil to any degree, a good person who was just kicked out due to, as we learned previously, giving fire to humanity, etc. But something pretty interesting we see here is when Prometheus is trying to stand up, Wukong does get quite stunned and maybe even somewhat enraged. So all things considered, Prometheus got absolutely destroyed, but he seems to have received some respect from Wukong, all things considered. But official confirmation that the fight is over is insane, as it concludes with Hercules holding the destroyed body of Prometheus, looking at Wukong walk away, who will now face Cuchulainn in round 2 in the future of the Record of Ragnarok, the Apocalypse of the Gods manga. A fight that's going to be absolutely wild, as both of them may be able to one-shot one another. We have the whole different levels of immortality revealed about Wukong, which may allow him to survive Cuchulainn's crazy attack, but we're not going to see that fight for quite some time. There is some people saying that Cuchulainn is the protagonist of this manga, being a key reason for how and why he's going to win against the Monkey King, but we're going to have to wait and see the future. People want to see a monkey transformation, as everyone seems to hate his design. We didn't get that this fight, but maybe in the next one. Hopefully, still praying for that. But if you want to support the channel directly, check out GamerSupps with a 21% discount available for all you guys. Link at the top of the description. Use code MWeeb. And of course, shout out to the channel members, these mad lads.